Hello, and welcome back to Moon Medicine Yoga. I'm Alison, and today we're going to be diving into the ancient festival of Beltane. This festival, celebrated on May 1st, honors the start of the summer and the fertility of nature. Beltane has been observed for thousands of years by cultures around the world, and today we're talking about 5 things to know about Beltane. We'll get into themes of spirituality, history, nature, mythology, and specific traditions. But before we begin, please like this video and make sure you're subscribed for yoga aligned with the moon and the seasons, and perhaps more informational videos like this one. Let's get into it. Beltane is an ancient Gaelic festival that marks the beginning of summer and the renewal of nature. In modern times, we view the seasons through the lens of the calendar, based on the solstices and equinoxes. However, in ancient times, the seasons were understood more through agricultural systems, the movement of the stars, and other natural cycles. The people of ancient Celtic culture, for example, relied on the land for their survival, and the changing seasons were deeply ingrained in their way of life. The word Beltane comes from these Gaelic words, which mean bright fire or goodly fire. It was traditionally celebrated on the first day of May in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man, and is still observed by modern pagans and neo-pagans today. The festival has a rich history that dates back to pre-Christian times. It was originally a Celtic festival that celebrated the beginning of summer and the fertility of the land. The ancient Celts believed that on this day the veil between the worlds was thin, and that spirits of the dead and fairies could walk among the living. The Celts celebrated Beltane by lighting fires and dancing around them. They also engaged in fertility rites, such as jumping over the Beltane fire to ensure a fruitful harvest. Beltane is a time of celebration, honoring the arrival of summer and the cycles of birth, growth, and renewal. It's a reminder of our intimate connection to nature and the importance of respecting and honoring the land that sustains us. Regardless of our spiritual practices, Beltane invites us to embrace our own power and potential for growth and transformation. On Beltane, we can reflect on our place in the web of life and the interconnectedness of all things. By honoring the cycles of the earth and the rhythms of nature, we can tap into a source of wisdom and healing that has supported humans for millennia. Beltane's significance is not limited to its ancient Celtic roots, but also serves as a reminder of the sacredness of life and the importance of living in harmony with the earth and each other. Beltane is a time of celebration and connection to the natural world. It is a time we honor the changing of the seasons and the fertility of the earth. During this time, we pay tribute to our ancestors and acknowledge the cycles of birth, growth, and death that are part of the human experience. One of the most powerful themes of Beltane is the union between the masculine and feminine energies, which is represented in many different ways. One of the most well-known examples is the Maypole, which symbolizes fertility and the interconnection of all life. But the union between the masculine and feminine energies can also be seen in other aspects of Beltane, such as the lighting of fires and the use of flowers and other natural symbols. These elements represent the balance between the forces of creation and destruction, and the importance of embracing both aspects in our being. At Beltane, we honor the past and look to the future with hope. We acknowledge the wisdom of our ancestors, and we celebrate the union of energies that bring forth new life. The Maypole is one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of Beltane. This tradition involves erecting a tall pole, usually made of wood, and decorating it with colorful ribbons and flowers. The tradition of the Maypole dates back to medieval times and is believed to have originated in Germany. The Maypole was introduced to England in the 16th century and quickly became a popular feature of May Day celebrations. However, the origins of the Maypole are still somewhat shrouded in mystery, with some sources indicating that it's been used in various pagan rituals throughout Europe for centuries. Regardless of its origins, the Maypole is a powerful symbol of the union between heaven and earth, the masculine and feminine, and the renewal of life. The weaving of the ribbons symbolized the interconnection of all life. You could choose to dance around a maypole this Beltane, or simply appreciate the beauty and significance of this ancient tradition. Now we're going to talk a bit about the mythology associated with Beltane. Beltane is steeped in mythology. It's associated with the goddesses of love and fertility, such as Aphrodite, Venus, and Freya. It's also associated with the god of the harvest and the hunt, Cernunnos. I apologize in advance if I mispronounce any of these Gaelic words. I tried to do my research, but they are tricky. So I will put the spelling on the screen and I will do my best to pronounce them. Again, Beltane is associated with the god of the forest and the hunt, Cernunnos. In Celtic mythology, Beltane was seen as a time when the god of winter, the Cailleach, was defeated by the god of summer, the Oak King. This represented the victory of life over death and the renewal of the earth. In addition to the defeat of Cailleach by the Oak King, Beltane was also associated with the Tuatha De Danann, the mythical people of pre-Christian Ireland who were believed to possess magical powers. It was said that on Beltane Eve, the Tuatha De Danann would emerge from their underground dwellings, known as She, and travel across the land bestowing blessings and good fortune upon those they encountered. Another prominent figure in Celtic mythology associated with Beltane is the Green Man, a symbol of rebirth and renewal. The Green Man is often depicted as a face made of leaves and foliage, representing the life force of nature. He was believed to be reborn each year at Beltane along with the rest of the earth. The stories and myths of Beltane reflect the ancient Celtic understanding of the cyclical nature of the seasons and the interconnectedness of all things. They remind us of the importance of honoring and respecting the natural world and the powerful forces of growth, renewal, and transformation that are at work within it. Let's talk a bit about specific Celtic traditions. I find these to be so fascinating. The ancient Celts celebrated Beltane by lighting fires and dancing around them. They also engaged in fertility rites, such as jumping over the Beltane fire to ensure a fruitful harvest. Beltane was also a time for matchmaking, and it was believed that couples who jumped over the fire together would be blessed with fertility and a long, happy union. Another tradition was the Maypole dance, as we discussed, which symbolized the union of the masculine and feminine energies and the fertility of the land. In addition to these rituals, the ancient Celts also gathered flowers and greenery to decorate their homes and villages. They believed that the bright and fragrant blossoms symbolized the return of life and the renewal of the earth. Hawthorn was a particularly important plant during Beltane, as it was believed to be a gateway to the fairy realm and a powerful symbol of fertility and rebirth. Beltane was also a time for feasting and sharing food with the community. People would gather together to prepare and share a Beltane feast, which included dishes made from seasonal ingredients such as fresh greens, honey, and milk. It was a time to celebrate the abundance of the earth and the blessings of the season. Today, many of these traditions continue to be celebrated in modern Beltane festivities. People light fires, dance around the maypole, and gather flowers and greenery to decorate their homes. Beltane is a time to connect with nature and celebrate the beauty and abundance of the earth. So whether you participate in traditional rituals or create your own, Beltane is a reminder of the deep spiritual connection that we share with the natural world and the importance of honoring and protecting it for future generations. Beltane invites us to embrace the beauty and the magic of life and to honor the cycles of nature that sustain us. As Robin Wall Kimmerer writes in her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, we are showered every day with gifts, but they are not meant for us to keep. Their life is in their movement, the inhale and the exhale of our shared breath. Our work and our joy is to pass along the gift and to trust that what we put into the universe will always come back. May we carry the spirit of Beltane with us as we move through our lives, remembering our connection to the earth and each other, and celebrating the gifts that life brings us every day. Well, as you can see, it's starting to get pretty dark, and I think that's going to be it for this one. I will be back really soon for our Beltane yoga class, which is going to call back to a lot of the themes and traditions that we talked about today. I could really only cover so much ground, so if you have any wisdom to add or to share, just head to the comments. Don't be shy. I would love to hear from you. And thank you again for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe. On this channel, we explore the intersection of yoga, spirituality, the moon, and the seasons. So if that sounds interesting, I'd love to have you. Before you leave, make sure you like the video. And that's going to be it for this one. I will see you again soon on the mat and under the moon. Bye-bye.